Broadcasting live from downtown Las Vegas, you're tuned in to Guerilla Cross Radio.
Yo, you tuned in to Guerilla Cross Radio.
Welcome to Let the Ball Bounce. This your host, Dre Bailey.
No goosing in here, so Sherm is in the building today.
We got Mr. Bill Blockham
Yeah,
Logan
it's the
in the
controversy.
building.
Yeah,
What's up with it, man?
good.
We in here like the Three Stooges in this piece today.
Up in this
man.
piece.
We came in with jokes and some more stuff today, man.
Yeah.
You know,
that's every week though.
it is, man. It's every week, man.
Well, if we can film our off the air shenanigans.
Boy. And it spills over into the on-air shenanigans every Saturday.
Yeah, it will.
At 2 p.m. Pacific Coast time, man. We appreciate you guys giving out a little bit of your time today on this Saturday, 2 p.m., man, with the best sports talk radio show in the land. I don't mean to be disrespectful to anybody else's sports show, but I can only speak for ours, right?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I can only speak for Let the Ball Bounce Sports Talk
Correct.
Radio, man. Every Tuesday, also at 6 p.m., man, we are here to give you guys the best of sports talk, man. Download that Guerilla Cross app on your phone and follow us. Yeah. What a good day, man. It's a good day. The weather's good outside, man. You know, we all look like we in good shape. Look like everybody is, you know, like this is an actual show and not Cheers. Because, you know, I could come to the show and see, you know, 3-4 norms just sitting at the table.
Bunch of dad bods.
That's it.
Yeah.
But it looked like everybody keeping their health and their wealth up, man. So I want to say thank you to you guys, man. I appreciate you guys rocking for as long as you do, man. So if it ain't, and nobody told you that they appreciate you, man, I'm telling you right now on the show. So here's your flowers while you living, brother.
Yeah.
And that's that. And that's that.
I like some of the flowers that you know, some of the flowers that you bring are pretty nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I need to make sure the crew is happy, man.
Yeah,
The
man.
crew got to be happy, man.
Uh-huh.
Quan 5 in the building, man. Ubering to 4:30 this morning, man. You know what I'm saying? He was
always
in here.
grinding.
He was sitting here snitching on one of his clients today. If you don't know Quan 5, boy, you better get to know him or not get to know him, because he'll tell on you.
Yeah.
He worse than Kobe Bryant, I believe. Kobe Bryant is in the news for having his own. He's about to have his own daycare. His wife Vanessa, if she didn't drop, she's expecting to drop. They had a baby already.
Yeah, they had a
Another
little
girl. He's trying a boy, but snitches don't get things they want sometimes. Sometimes you gotta take it how you get it, right?
So give us a little background on because you got this love-hate relationship with Mr. Kobe.
Yeah, I would call it a love-hate relationship. The fact that I love his game, the fact that he was an alpha, he was a dog. You know, if you needed somebody to take the shot, it was him, and he was gonna guard somebody. But you know, just in my opinion, he just wasn't that great of a team player. You know what I'm saying? And I played sports my entire life.
Now, was he a good team player when he was with Shaq or post Shaq?
I think,
in your opinion,
in my opinion, I think he was a good team player with Shaq, because Kobe wanted to really be the man, and he was sharing some of that superstardom with Shaquille O'Neal, and I think he was okay with it. You know,
did the team help him any at post Shaq for him?
I mean, so you're trying to say if he had a team after Shaq?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, he's always had a team. I think they won a championship without Shaq there.
No, there was a little pocket in there where he didn't have a good team.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say Lamar Odom.
So he probably wasn't a good team player per se. Then he was trying to do it all himself.
I wouldn't say that a Lamar Odom in his prime and a Paul Gasol in his prime were no scrubs.
I'm talking about the Smush Parker years.
Yeah, but I think every team has a Smush Parker on it. Name a team that has a Smush Parker on
Starting? Nope. There's
And
Smush
those are-
Parkers on
and-
every team, but not
yeah.
starting.
it. Who
Yeah.
part was that? Who was owning the team at that time? Let's get to the root of the issue. Who was owning the team at the time?
Jerry Buss.
Don't seem very.
Mitch.
It,
Mitch. Ooh.
it doesn't seem very Jerry Bush's, because when you speak of Jerry Bush, he's supposed to be this genius, this guy that just puts together these championship teams, and he's a great front office man, and he makes the right moves.
Those was Mitch
Why
Kupchak.
in the heck is Smush Parker your starting point guard if you're Jerry Buss?
He was a year away from dying, bro.
Wait, okay. So
This dude right here tripped.
He was
out.
almost dead.
So you just put you just pushed him in the grave.
I
already.
mean, he probably wasn't making
my thing
decisions.
is, Smush Parker, he wasn't a great player, but he was a 10, 11 point per game point guard. There's a lot of those in the NBA, even to today.
Cook.
Quan, can
Or
we
Golden
go to
State Warriors.
Can we go to the lineups for the
Yes.
Lakers in that little pocket area?
And why are you doing that?
He
Look,
averaged 11 points a game for the Lakers. Good job.
Who was on
he
the
played
team?
82 games both times.
so he was always available.
Yeah.
He averaged 11 points. I'm
And
Laker
he
fans-
talked bad about Phil Jackson, and we never saw him again.
right. Laker fans
Yeah.
hate Smush Parker. I don't think he was bad as what y'all made him seem. Because we
Kobe
look,
didn't like him.
Right.
That's the reason.
And he didn't like Kobe either.
Well,
those teams was
a lot
better.
of teammates don't get along.
All right, the
Ask Kyrie
0506
and LeBron.
Lakers roster, Kobe Kwame Brown. Thank you, Michael Jordan, for bringing him to the league.
Tragic.
Baby Bynum, Brian
He
Cook,
was still young. Yeah.
Devin George, Devin
Yup.
Green,
Devin George was all right, but he wasn't.
And
the
Devin
last
Green
number
wasn't no good.
24, Jim Jackson, Aaron McKee, who later got traded for Pau Gasol.
Dog, he was 50.
And Jim Jackson was beyond his
So
prime
you can
at that
see why
point.
Kobe.
Medvedenko, Chris Mim,
You can see why
Laurent
Kobe was
Prophet,
that way.
your boy Laurent Prophet.
He did. Look, yeah, I
Von
like
Wafer.
Von Wafer. I like LeBron.
Tragic.
Prophet in college. Look,
Look,
let me tell you something, man. That's Kobe didn't just turn to the I need to be selfish Kobe because of this pocket team. Stop it. He's always been that dude, man. Stop giving this dude excuses. Just call it what it is. It's all right.
You think he was always selfish?
You can't average 5 points a game. 5 assists a game for your career being as selfish as everybody says he was.
Do I think Kobe was selfish?
Yes. His whole career.
I do. I think he was selfish, but I thought it was in a alpha dog way.
Oh, okay.
Meaning that
I said that,
because
though.
I got the same love-hate relationship with Kobe too. I love Kobe as a player and a mentality. Where my disconnect comes in is when people say that he's on the Mount Rushmore of all-time players. I don't believe he's there. I believe that he was a dominant force who could have even been more if he wasn't as selfish off the court with his antics when it came to Shaq. And then when people talk about the killer mentality, I think he was selfish to where I want to be the one who gets the glory from this. So therefore, he would take bad shots, not pass to teammates, alienate teammates, punch teammates in the face, and then throw them under
Where you
the
hear
rug.
that at?
So
Where he punched the
Those-
man in the face at?
those are the
Is
things
that true?
Deadpool's over here making stuff up. Somebody called you Deadpool on the chat.
I don't see it on here.
I got you on a watch party.
I'll take it.
Ooh.
But my thing is
Deadpool.
the thing
I'm
about
done.
the thing about Kobe is that you gotta respect a player who comes in and feels like, I don't care what your accolades are, who you think you are, because I'm gonna make this the worst day of your life.
That's what his mentality was?
I believe so, and I respect that as a athlete. I respect that. I don't think he's the best player ever. I don't think he's a top 5 player ever, but I think he's in that upper echelon of top 10.
I don't think he's the greatest Laker ever.
I don't either. I think Kareem is.
I don't know about that either. He played till he was 107.
Doesn't matter. He had the
It does
ability of
matter.
playing it. Why?
Magic was carrying Kareem for his last.
Look,
7 years.
If everybody can play 20 years, they would. There's players who can't make it that long.
Well, I just thought maybe Magic was helping the old homie out by keeping him on, because Kareem was done. He was done.
Man,
and Magic
look,
was carrying that team.
Hey, man, look, you're not
Y'all
about
showed
to, that's sacrilegious right now.
Lakers showed a lot of loyalty to Kareem. Caller, you on with Let the Ball Bounce Sports Talk Radio, man. What's your name? What's your question?
First of all, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the best Laker ever. Number two, Smush Parker was starting on these teams, bro. He was a starter, bro. We got Smush Parker coming off the bench now. Smush Parker was the starter on these Laker teams, bro. You absolutely cannot compare what Kobe Bryant had to what's going on in Zimbabwe.
Well, you're right.
Hey, Quan, that background music is super loud, bro.
It's a little delay, but you're right. With today's rosters, Smush Parker would be coming off the bench. However, back then, you're talking about an era that had 1 to 2 superstars, and so therefore he was a normal starter on most teams. With his averages and his shooting percentage, he was an average starter. Now he's the scapegoat for a lot of Lakers, because when we just ran off that roster, Smush Parker was better than a lot of those dudes that was on that roster there. You didn't have a dominant roster, and compared to what Golden State is today, or even what the Lakers may even end up being today. But back then, that was still a pretty decent roster, good enough to make the playoffs.
That was a decent roster. That was a decent roster he just named?
Back then. Not compared to today. Not compared to today, but back then, yeah. Go back and look at some of the other rosters in competition.
Kwame Brown, bro? Come on, man.
Chris Mims, bro.
Chris Mims.
Brian Cook.
So y'all know better than that.
So at that
y'all?
time,
Medvedenko.
I didn't say that team, man.
So what is your so the point
Man,
y'all
that
trying
roster was trash. That's why Kobe had to turn unselfish. I'm just letting y'all know.
He
have
was
no problem with
always
that.
selfish. He didn't just turn
No,
selfish.
he wasn't always selfish.
Man, stop it.
I don't have a problem with him looking at the team.
He was selfish in the way that y'all said it. The alpha dog selfish.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if that's the case, then why do some Laker fans want to say, well, Kobe didn't have to leave, or Kobe didn't have to bring in players and this, that, and other? If you're saying the roster isn't good from the outside looking in, he's practicing with these dudes every day. He know they ain't no good, so he wanted more better players too.
But we say that about the early LeBron teammates.
Correct. I agree.
But those teams was winning 60 and 50 games. So how bad really were they?
They were
They
still
just
bad
wasn't
too.
playoff good. They just wasn't playoff good.
They weren't good either.
The Lakers teams wasn't good in during the season, and they didn't make it to the playoffs.
So then we can't continue saying that, well, this player didn't ask to get better players, because he did, and we understand why. See, there's a difference when a person complains about their team or their roster, and then you criticize them for it, but then you criticize the roster itself too.
Man, y'all criticized those early Cleveland Cavalier rosters.
They were bad.
And no, they weren't. They were in the playoffs almost every year,
Jamario
winning
Moon?
60 games. They just wasn't playoff good. Stop it.
Tractor trailer.
How many games could the Bucks have won with that roster? How many games could the Bucks have won with that roster that Kobe had?
When? You mean now?
How many-
Today?
Then. At that time.
How many who won?
The Bucks.
Well,
Your Bucks.
what players though? What players do you have on there? You just changed the Lakers name to the Bucks?
Name 7 players that the Bucks off that Laker roster could have won with.
You mean with Giannis? Is that what you're saying? I'm just confused.
I'm saying then, at that time.
How many games?
At that particular time when Kobe had them, how many games could the Bucks have won? Because I recall the Bucks making it to the playoffs with less than stellar records at that time.
Well, my team, the Bucks had a drought for a while. Now, in the early 2000s, we were doing pretty well, but we did have a nice roster there. We had Ray Allen, Sam Cassell. Before Sam Cassell, there was Terrell Brandon. We had Big Dog Robinson, Tim Thomas, Irvin Johnson. So we had a solid roster in the early 2000s. Now, after that,
Just rub it in.
well, ain't too much to rub in because I was heartbroken from there. But the mid 2000s, no, the Bucks weren't good at that. But when I go back,
neither were the Lakers.
No, I'm not saying y'all were great.
Whose fault was it?
Management. Mitch Kupchak.
Management.
I don't
Who
disagree.
is over Mitch Kupchak?
Like Quan said, he was on his deathbed.
I can't go.
Y'all putting the blame on others instead of where it should be. Oh, it was
Let's
Mitch
blame
Kupchak.
Kobe.
It was no, nobody's saying that.
No.
But it was, Mitch Kupchak. We're gonna put it on Mitch Kupchak. But who was over Mitch? The god in LA, Jerry Buss. He didn't do so stellar by giving Kobe the roster that he had. Look who he had on that team.
Agreed.
You mean to tell me that they could not have put or surrounded Kobe Bryant with a better team, and they're supposed to be these great execs and owners
But
and
they
GMs?
did a couple years later.
So what I'm saying is stop complaining about having that drought in that era when the top of the chain
But
made
they complain,
it that way.
But they complain about the early Cleveland Cavaliers.
No, everybody.
Yeah, y'all
was
say,
y'all?
man, his players was trash.
They
were winning 60 games.
But so was the.
But they were winning 60 games twice in the season and going to the playoffs.
I would say this.
So how bad were they?
I don't agree with Dre because at a certain point, the owner employs people to run the basketball side of it, and so that was Mitch Kupchak.
And at
But
that time,
hold on. But they wasn't family? They wasn't acting like they was family? Come on, dog. They had a lot of loyal. They showed Mick Kupchak a lot of loyalty because he should have been lost his job. Stop it. Stop putting the blame somewhere else, bros. Laker fans for a long time did not like Mitch Kupchak, but Jerry Buss just could not let him leave. Stop it, bros. They doing the same thing now with their loyalty. They need to change that.
I don't think people didn't stop
Mitch
liking
Kupchak.
Mitch Kupchak till near the end when Jim Buss
you
was
figure he would have
helping
learned
run
something
things.
from Jerry West.
He did.
He did though. I mean, he still pulled.
I mean, he
still
did.
did a lot of great things.
Yeah.
He pulled Karl Malone and Gary Payton when
He
nobody
did.
thought they could.
Yeah.
When that team was supposed to win the championship, Karl Malone got hurt. Other things happened.
And he
Shaq and
pulled
Kobe
Powell.
were beefing.
He pulled Powell.
He pulled Pau
Karl
Gasol.
Malone looked terrible.
He
Would
stole
y'all-
Pau Gasol.
Would y'all have beat Detroit still with if Karl Malone not gotten hurt?
Yes, definitely.
No.
Y'all got beat in
Definitely.
5 games.
Definitely.
No.
Let's just beat y'all in 5 games,
Karl
man.
Malone
Don't
did
box-
not move.
They
That
boxed and
messed
won
up the whole
Kobe.
season.
They boxed and won Kobe.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
Yeah, Tayshaun Prince.
I'm a Laker
Karl
fan.
Malone was still balling when he got hurt. He was still balling like Karl Malone. They would have been fine.
Go ahead.
The Detroit Pistons would have annihilated us either way, bro. They were
There's no
just
way.
better, bro.
There's no way.
They were just better.
Karl Malone
They
was
were
not a 3-game swing good. Stop
was.
it.
He
Y'all
was.
tripping.
Not at that
He was.
point.
He
No,
was.
wasn't.
Karl
He
Malone?
was still balling.
Because y'all couldn't.
You guys are seeing him after the injury. You guys aren't even realizing
understand.
that
Man,
before he
Karl
got hurt, he
Malone
was
was
still
out there looking
balling.
like Junkyard the Dog. Stop it.
Because he got hurt.
The problem
Because
is
he got hurt.
Go ahead.
They killed the Lakers in that series. Annihilated the Lakers in that series, bro. There was no way. The one game that the Lakers did win was on some fluke stuff. If you want to be honest, they annihilated us in that series, bro.
I don't know if a
We wouldn't
Kobe
have won.
3 in two people's faces is a fluke, but
That was
Women
one
not-
shot in a 5-game series.
they won the game. That's not a fluke shot. That's not a fluke
Well, it was
win.
the only game
A win's
they
a
won.
win.
I mean,
Well,
that's
a win's a
only
win.
game.
You said it's a fluke win. It's not a fluke to win a game.
No, I'm not saying the win was fluke. That was also game 1.
Yeah, but Kobe was balling the whole time. I wouldn't put that loss on Kobe at all.
I
I put it
wouldn't.
on the team.
I wouldn't either. And see, that's the
Shaq
problem
was
with.
getting beat up by Ben Wallace. That's whose fault is that? That's Shaq's fault.
I mean,
y'all also-
Ben Wallace was the best defensive player in the league at that
Ben
time.
Wallace was 6'5".
So was
the biggest guy ever in the NBA.
and that's what made Dennis Rodman great.
Ben Wallace is not Dennis Rodman. Don't do that.
No.
I never said
as
that.
far as what?
But I'm
As
just
far as
saying.
what?
as
Well, we're
far
talking about Ben Wallace and he jumped to Dennis Rodman. So
well,
you did
because
say
they're
that.
the same size, though, bro. They're the
not
same size.
That doesn't mean anything.
Ben
That
Wallace
does.
He's a
Doesn't
bigger
mean
anything.
dude. He's a bigger dude.
So why was the why?
Measurable.
Yeah.
Measurables, right?
So during that Shaq and Ben Wallace matchup, is it more of a Shaq issue that he couldn't dominate, or is it a diminishing of Ben Wallace's defense on Shaq? Which one is it?
I think it was a team defensive effort and a great game plan
What
put
did
together
Shaq
by
average
Larry
in that
Brown.
series?
Let's not
Going
diminish what Ben Wallace meant to that team defensively, and especially against Shaq.
Well, I also blame a lot on Phil Jackson for not using Gary Payton the way Gary Payton plays.
Here's the problem with that Lakers team
But
going
Gary
against
Payton
Detroit.
won the Seattle Gary
Right.
Payton.
Right.
Y'all keep thinking that
still
these
good.
dudes,
And
but he
still
wasn't that dude.
I didn't say he was that dude. He was still better than what Phil Jackson was using him outside of his game.
What happened with that Lake, and if y'all go back to that Lakers series, you see that the Pistons were able to cross match up a lot. They did a lot of screens and cross matchups with the Lakers where they couldn't. You had Kobe trying to run through screens to stay on Rip Hamilton. It wore him out even defensively, and then the Lakers didn't have a secondary score to really do anything. That's where it was. The Pistons kept sending.
We didn't have a third
wave
score.
A third score because Shaq
Yeah.
was. But you have. I'm talking about from the perimeter. You didn't have anybody from the perimeter to still score at that time.
Well,
So,
Les Pickett says Shaq was on the decline. That's why. That's why Ben Wallace got
Well, what
over
did
on
Shaq
Shaq.
average in that series?
And Shaq won an NBA Finals 2 years later, so I don't know if that's
Exactly. That means nothing. He was on the decline. Stop it.
Shaq won a championship 2 years later.
Thank you.
He did.
Listen, Phil Jackson got out coached. They took the Pistons lightly. They beat some teams. They beat San Antonio. They thought that was the championship. They took the Pistons lightly. The Pistons didn't, even through the run in the Eastern Conference, didn't look like the best team in the league. They took him lightly. He got out coached easily.
Okay, so with that team, with that Lakers team losing, and it's on, I've heard a couple of excuses. I've heard Shaq. I've heard the coach. I put it on the upper management for even putting that team together. And but
Goose, what did your boy average?
nothing on Kobe gets none of that, and he's supposed to have been at this time the best player in the league at his position.
He was the only one still playing hard when they were getting blown out. He was balling this series.
I think what Dre's alluding to, and I'll let you finish after this, Goose, but I think what Dre's alluding to is today, or in more relevantly, LeBron James, when he loses, even in a valiant effort, he's to blame. Whereas in the loss with Kobe in the playoffs or the finals,
It's
everybody else. I think that's what he's trying to allude to. My stance is if they play great, I can't blame that player for a team loss
It's
if
a
they
team.
perform well. If they perform well.
Sure.
Go ahead, Goose.
Sure.
And against Ben Wallace, he averaged over 30.
I'm the same mindset, bro.
And against Ben Wallace, he averaged over 30. He averaged over 30 against Ben Wallace.
Yeah.
So Ben's defense wasn't that good. That's all I'm saying.
And you can't blame Shaq.
At some point, though,
He was on the decline.
we have to give the Detroit Pistons credit. Like we can't just put the onus all on the Lakers. The Lakers are the reason why they lost. No, Detroit played great team basketball on both ends of the floor. Give them credit. We have to do that.
Absolutely.
Like we can't go through this whole rigmarole. The Pistons
Rigmarole!
yes, it's rigmarole, bro. That's exactly what it is. Bro, it's nonsense. It's rhetoric, bro. We have to give the Detroit Pistons credit. They annihilated the Lakers on both ends of the floor.
They
bro.
did.
I'm a fan.
They did.
I am a Laker fan, but I cannot not be objective. The Pistons beat the brakes off of us.
They did.
Period. There's
did.
no way around that, bro. None. Zero.
So
we
if-
gotta give Larry Brown credit, bro. Give him credit. He outcoached Phil Jackson. Period.
And that team
That's what happened.
outplayed the Lakers.
They did.
So
That's the bottom line.
So
Period.
Goose, while we
Period.
have you here, then
Simple.
knowing that you guys, your Lakers got 24 to 28 million, depending on how things shape up after July 6th, the new league year.
Right.
going on, if you got, let's just say you got 28 million at your disposal.
Yep.
How do you build your Lakers roster to championship form? How would you start that if you were calling the shots in Lakerland?
If I need shooters. I need solid defensive players.
Give us some names.
I'm not going to get another max contract. Give me from the sounds of it. It sounds like Kyle Korver might be up for grabs.
Okay.
How about Terrence Ross?
Mm-hmm.
How about Malcolm Brogdon? I know that's going to hurt you a little bit, Sherm. But how about Malcolm Brogdon if he's out there?
You can't have Malcolm.
I told you it was going to hurt you. but I'm talking about guys that still have that dog mentality, but can spell minutes for starters.
And they
like when you put a Malcolm Brogdon in, you don't lose anything putting Malcolm Brogdon in the game. You don't lose anything.
Not even defensively.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, he's
amazing. Definitely not defensively.
Yeah, he's an amazing defender.
We know the defensive cloth he's cut from.
Yeah.
We already know that.
Brooke Lopez's names came up too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, y'all can't just keep pillaging my Bucks players.
Well, hey, I'm not interested in paying him $18 million.
But Malcolm Brogdon, I'd throw some chips at him. I'd throw some chips at Malcolm Brogdon.
I'll definitely give Malcolm Brogdon some money.
Yeah.
I'll give
no question about it.
I'll give a little money to D'Angelo Russell.
But he's going to be a max level player. That's going to eat at your entire $28-ish million.
That's going to eat at the.
What about this?
If I had the choice, if I had the choice, I'd throw the money at Malcolm Brogdon over D'Angelo Russell. And I'm not saying yes, absolutely I would. I'm not saying that. And we can't get excited off of one season. Don't do that. We can't get excited off of that. We've seen. I'm not getting ready to let you do that.
Yeah.
We can't get excited off of one season. He went to the Eastern Conference, and we getting excited off of one season because everybody in the media has told us, well, the Lakers shouldn't have got look. The Lakers shouldn't have got rid of him. He's an all-star. He was an all-star because 15 point guards got hurt. That's why he was
Brooklyn Nets were supposed to be horrible last year. He got them to the playoffs. He's been balling out for 2 years. It's not just 1 year. He's been balling out. He's been balling out in Brooklyn.
Well, see, here's the thing. We said on our pregame show 2 years ago that the Brooklyn Nets were coming. This wasn't nothing new to me. It wasn't nothing new to me. I don't know how anybody else feel, but it wasn't anything new to me that the Brooklyn Nets were going to be good.
Nobody picked them to go to the playoffs at the beginning of last season, though.
I did.
Goose and I
was really high on the Nets. Dinwiddie, Russell, before LeVert got hurt. Just that entire team that they play together, man. That the center that they got over there, they were that Portland Trail Blazers team on the East.
Yes, they were one of my favorite teams to watch in the league.
Goose, what do you think about somebody like Darren Collison, LA guy, 40% shooter from 3-point land, tenacious defender.
Sure.
He's not the playmaker that a D'Angelo Russell is, but he can defend the opposing point guards in the West, can hit that knockdown three. And he in his career, he's been averaging about 3 to 4 million per season, except for last year. So to come back home, still make about minimum wage in the NBA standards.
Sure, 5-6 million.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think that's a good pickup.
That was actually going to be the next name that I mentioned.
And that's a good backup. But you can get him on the vets minimum, so that doesn't even count for the cap space money.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm just
right
because you still got to.
So saying that, why can't you get a max player like D'Angelo? Because people are still going to want to come. Miami had 3 max players, and everybody else wanted to play with them. So if Lakers have 3 really good players, you're going to get those vets that I'll take a little extra money to win this ring, and you're going to get some shooters, you're going to get some defenders, I think.
Think about Wayne Ellington is out there. That 45% shooter. He can't play D.
That's another shooter.
He's a young shooter.
Right. He can shoot though.
Yep. Marcus Morris.
Heels.
Yeah.
On a
Heels.
And why do you think that Horford gave up his $30 million? Is he trying to just win a championship with someone?
Apparently, he doesn't feel like he can win
He's
one in
not.
Boston.
good question.
He's not gonna,
He can't win. He's not going to win one in Boston.
and he's not
not.
gonna go to a young team
He's not.
to try to help them
Yeah.
get. He's going to a veteran team. He's gonna take less probably.
So why is the rumor
Right.
been Dallas the last couple days?
Dallas got money.
Because they got $70
That's what
million
I've
in
been hearing
salary
as well.
cap.
Dallas
dollars.
got-
Dallas
yeah,
always
Dallas got a
got
lot of
chips
money.
too.
But
for
that's
some
going
reason.
to a young team though, so I don't really.
That would be a great team.
I've been hearing.
It-
I've
it
been
makes-
hearing the
it
same
makes you
thing
competitive.
with Randall as well.
Yeah,
I've been hearing the same thing with Randall as well.
I actually
Going
think
back
that
home to
is
Dallas.
where. Yep, I think that's exactly where he's
Boy,
going.
if they get those two
Dallas is gonna be
with
good.
Kristoff
Man,
and Luka,
boy,
So I got a
Boy,
question. Real
look.
real
boy,
quick
you could
with
put
y'all.
Willie Nelson at point guard. And that team would still be nice. Good Lord.
Would y'all
Oh,
Lakers
man.
fans be opposed to someone like Carmelo Anthony coming off the bench?
Oh boy.
Well, Sherm is channeling
For the right-
Carmelo
for the right-
Anthony's hoodie.
For the right price. For the right
It's
price.
got to be for the right price.
And
And know your role.
It's got to be for the right price.
And know your role.
Off the bench, veterans minimum.
Yes.
But can he can he really
He got it.
accept that?
Look, bro, you out the league.
What kind of chips you get?
You got a pink slip.
Hey,
You better come take this young
me-
job right here.
Let me
Yeah,
let
for
me
real.
ask you
better-
guys what kind
come take it.
what kind of chips are you guys giving Carmelo Anthony right now? I'll let you go first,
It'll be
Goose.
the vet minimum.
Vet minimum.
Yeah, but if
It'll
you
be
were
the vet
if
minimum.
you were
It'll have to be.
if you were explaining it into a bag of chips, how would that look? What would that look like?
Oh,
It would be them little chips in the
bag of
box.
Chips, it would. No. Well, vet minimum is at least a grab bag.
It'll be-
Vet minimum is a grab
It'll be-
bag. That's like 5.6 million. 5.6 million is a grab bag.
Okay.
So he can get a grab bag.
You know the little box of chip
Yeah.
will have all the assorted flavors in there. One of those.
You know,
The chili joints.
if I was a
That's
Laker,
league minimum.
Yeah.
That's league minimum.
that's league minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was an exec,
Yeah.
I would definitely I wouldn't give him a bag of chips. He had to hold his hand out like the little kids do, and I pour some chips in his hand.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's it.
That is it. That's it.
Oh, that is
I agree.
terrible.
And
I
those
agree.
chips were still good.
They're
Don't
still
get it twisted.
good. They're still good.
It was just you know
They're
the
still
way
good.
that you had to eat your chips now.
Yeah.
It's not like everybody else.
Wow.
Can I have some chips? Yeah.
Wow.
That's it.
tough.
That's
yeah,
it.
Here now.
Yeah.
Now go now.
Yeah. Now go. Now go.
Now go.
Now
go.
go.
now.
Now go. Yeah. Exactly. Now go.
Well,
Oh man.
so Goose, what you up to today,
Oh,
man?
Man, I got ballet and tap recitals to attend.
Nice.
Man, shout out to the Rainbow Christian Dance Academy, man, with Monica Armstrong, man, really doing her thing with those kids. She has been for decades here in Las Vegas, and Lil Mama got ballet and tap today, man. So that's where I'm headed, man.
It
That's
is.
what's up, man.
Right on.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's hope that
Indeed,
your
man.
daughter will be attending, if not two, but at least one of those events that you're going to. Nah, man, I think that's pretty
yeah,
dope.
She in all of them.
That's pretty
Yeah,
dope, man. We're
yeah,
about
she's in
to
all of them.
we're about to head deep into this. Have some nice transgender talk in sports.
Hey, man, I'm still on the line.
He got a point to make. He got a point. So
I'm
then,
still on the line.
Goose, then with that being said, how do you feel not only about the
Oh.
transgenders performing in female sports, but the acceptance of it that we're seeing now?
Oh man, I just and we look, man. I got to take a deep breath for this, man, because we legit have people defending this as if it's okay. This is not okay, people. It's not okay. It's really not. Anytime you have female-born, athletes, and now you have a man that has transitioned into a female. There is always going to be a disadvantage for the born females. It just is what it is. You can tell me, well, my testosterone dropped a little bit, but you're still a man. You are a man competing against ladies, young women. It's not fair.
And the powers
if you were to say, you know what? Yeah.
And the powers that be are allowing this. That's what's the craziest thing about it.
No, that's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
If you were to say, you know what, we're gonna make our own, league or our own, Olympics or whatever the case may be, I fully support that. I fully support it because there's an even playing field. But this is not even. We talk about.
We call it.
Goose, you still there? All right. Look like we having some technical difficulties with Goose, but
Well, I'm glad it was called technical difficulties with Goose, because last week I heard Quan say that I had a nice Obama phone that I was called.
I didn't say that.
So we all have daughters here. So if your daughter was competing, let's say in track, and there was a transgender who was dominating, how would you feel about that as a parent watching that?
Well, I would tell my daughter, the little homie just beat you. So we need to work a little harder. Nah, I wouldn't say that. But I would be furious, number one. So you mean to tell me this, that if I threw a wig on right now and I want to be called a woman.
You have to take some meds too to drop your levels.
Okay, well, before we get there, right now,
Yeah.
I'm putting this wig on. I can walk into the women's restroom right now.
Is it that simple?
That is ridiculous, bro.
If you're
identify.
saying, if you're identifying with that, yeah, you can walk.
Listen, there's been times like the men's bathroom's closed or something. I'm like, I'm going to identify as a woman. Got to handle business.
For these next 2 minutes.
Hey, for these next 2 minutes, I'm identifying as a woman.
Wow.
Because I got to go real bad.
Wow. So
No, I mean, here's my look at it. If that was happening and my daughter was running track, I'd probably say, you know what? We're not competing because there's an obvious disadvantage.
You protest.
Yes.
You got your sign?
This ain't supposed to be running.
Boy, trying to get a group.
Yeah.
and you
come
wouldn't
on.
be, I'm sure you wouldn't be alone.
I mean,
You would not be alone, bro.
I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy.
yeah, that's like, if my
And
daughter,
who's agreeing with this other than the powers that be, which
well,
we already know the powers that be have lost their damn mind.
well, the bottom line is a touchy subject, and just not switching gears.
Oh.
But it's a touchy subject. And people don't want to say something in fear of being politically incorrect, right?
What's politically incorrect about that?
Well,
Is
people don't really want to speak on, it's I don't want to say
that's
it's
where
taboo.
that's where we've come in society now.
Well, and I can't speak for the group, but they want the same rights. That's what they're fighting for. Is the same rights. They want, if a man is transitioning into a woman, for him to be able to compete,
But that's
and
not
have
the
the
same
same
rights.
right.
But that's not the same rights.
Tell it, Bill.
It's not the same rights. Just like the chick who fights in MMA, Fallon Fox. She out there breaking skulls.
Yeah.
And it's a man.
It's a reason why she's breaking skulls. That's a man fighting women.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So when we were in school, when we ran track, the women in high school, the fastest women one of our followers,
Amy Newsom,
Well, she was-
Lavonna Logan,
they were running
Vicky Wilson.
Right. They were running.
They
They
were
were
all my
winning
teammates.
state running 12-1, 12-3. The average,
Alicia Proby.
right?
Yep.
The average type of guy who was just an average runner was running, let's say, 11.5s, 11.7s. Can you imagine that guy identifying as a woman? He would dominate.
Yeah, he would.
Dominate.
Yes.
Completely dominate. Completely.
Yes.
The times that we ran in high school would almost be women's national records in 100 meters.
Yeah.
We were just, I'll speak for myself. I was just an average sprinter. I was one state in the relays, but on the grand scheme of things, just an average runner. But my times would be national women's records.
Yeah.
Wow. Joanna, man.
Yeah. So it's unfair to me. I've seen the pain in my daughter's eyes. She plays flag football and just losing a game. I couldn't imagine her going against someone who would dominate like that. This is just from
That's
a
crazy.
father speaking, watching their baby girl perform at the best that she can of her natural born abilities.
My thing is, like I said, I would protest. I would like, you know what, baby, you're not running against this man.
You're not running.
You're not running.
Simple. You're not running.
Yeah.
You're not running against old boy.
No, you're not running
Yeah, you
against.
ain't doing it.
No, you're not running against partner.
No. and look.
Partner in lane 7.
Yeah, you're not.
Look. I gotta give some love. We go with it back and forth on the page, but I gotta give him some love. Shout out to our guy Adrian Hill, who is extremely definitive to transgender and the LGBTQ community. I'm good with that. But like I said on the page, and I'm getting ready to say it live right here on radio, bro. You know better than that, bro. You know better. Stop pretending like you don't know what's being talked about here, bro. Stop moving the goalposts. Don't do that. You know better than that, bro.
Making his own narrative.
You
The narrative
do that.
makers.
He got a
You
couple.
can't make
He got a
your
couple
own
people.
narrative, bro.
He got a couple people on the narrative.
It is what it is.
It's not fair.
Don't switch
No.
it up.
No.
It's not fair, man.
We're
If-
not, no, it's not fair. That's
No.
what we're talking about here. We're talking about transgenders in sport. We're not talking about the people that say, they're nasty and all of this, that, and the third. That's not the subject.
No.
The subject is transgenders in sport. Is it fair or no? I say no.
I say
no
no.
too. That's a big. I think a lot of people.
Hell no.
Fair.
I think it'll
To the
be
no,
the majority
no,
would say
no.
no.
Everybody in disagreement say
Yes.
no.
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 You know,
But would
Should-
you
should
you guys
transit- should-
would you guys be cool with having their own? You
Sure.
have a men's
Sure.
division. You have a woman's division.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
hold on. Would y'all watch it?
No.
I mean, if look,
I don't know
if
how I
I'm
would
scrolling
feel
through
about
the
it
channel,
No.
because the time.
if I'm scrolling through the channels and I see track, I mean, I won't know that it's transgender track until I
first
get
annual
into it and I start watching.
Transgender free run 100.
So, look,
Man,
Wait,
no.
did he just throw women track
hey,
players
man.
under the bus though? Because he said he wouldn't know the difference.
Well, he said on
Well, I mean,
the
I-
guide.
I
On the
wouldn't.
guide.
No, he said if he was
Yeah,
flipping
on the
channel.
guys, then I wouldn't know. Not off top. I
So-
wouldn't know.
If it said trans
But
track,
I mean, I like sports, so
I couldn't watch that. That's just me.
I mean,
so you would you watch a hot dog eating contest?
I did in Sandlot.
I'm all for look, I'm all for the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Don't ever put that past me. I'm all for that.
Hey, I did on Sandlot.
Yeah.
I did.
I think Quan
was
has
it-
some
was it Sandlot or-
innuendos going on in that one.
Was that Sandlot when he told that story, or what was that?
That was very innuendo.
yeah.
That was a lot
Yeah.
of innuendo in that one, Quan.
That's horrible.
Kobayashi.
That is horrible.
Kobayashi.
Kobayashi. Whoa.
Ugh.
Kobayashi.
Whoa. Whoa.
No,
Hey,
Whoa,
Kobayashi.
no. But I wouldn't watch it.
yeah,
I wouldn't
man,
watch it.
let's-
I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah.
Would you watch it?
Yeah,
No.
but again, like I said, let's be honest.
But it would
We
be
gotta
out there
be
for the
honest
kids
here,
to
bro.
watch it though. See, and that's
Mhm.
the problem I got.
Mhm.
That's
Sure
the issue.
would.
That's the issue I
Sure
got
would.
is that and
Yeah.
everyone raises their kids different. Okay, I can't tell you
Sure.
to put into your kids my beliefs or what I believe in. Okay, we all raise our
Absolutely.
kids according to how we would like them to have the knowledge and moving forward as far as becoming young adults and eventually adults in their life.
And
right?
what they like, we try to support it.
right? Right?
Oh, mommy.
But if I'm raising my household a certain way, there's just certain things I don't want in my household. So don't,
Right.
how can you ever get mad at me if I don't allow something in my household? And so the fact that it would be on TV for them to see, there's a lot of shows, there's a lot of things going on that my kids come to me and they ask me about. Now, I'm okay with the questions, right? But they're going to get how
Yeah.
daddy feels about the situation. They can
Now-
have...
Oh,
Go ahead.
excuse me.
Go ahead.
Now, here's another thing. We got sons. All of us have sons too.
Okay.
If your
Yep.
son was gay, would
Okay.
you allow him to go to a pride parade?
A pride parade? I mean,
Mhm.
if that's something that he wants to do because of...
That's what he wants to do.
I mean, and he wants to be, in that crowd. If he wants to go to a parade, I mean, you think it'll make him, happy or sad if you tell him yes or no?
What if he was like 9, 10?
See, that's a good question.
Because a lot of people had a problem with D. Wade letting his son go to the pride parade at that age.
That's because you have to have in-depth conversations to find out if things are fads.
And they get buck wild at those parades too, man. Because I used to have to work them
Mm.
when I was in this other department for the city,
Mm.
and I used to have to work them.
Right.
And man, oh man,
They get ignorant.
they get
But just like any parade would get ignorant though, wouldn't it?
well.
It's hard to go to a Martin Luther King parade and not get shot. I'm not throwing shots, but it's just it's 100.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah.
It takes some
Yeah,
deep
if-
conversations
Just
with the entire thing. I mean, those aren't just a one-off type of thing. Hey, I want to go to this. These are conversations that you've had.
Over a course of time.
That's correct.
So, I mean, those are valid
Right.
questions, but Tamika has a good question. She says, so if they had the sex change, does that make it fair then?
No, because
No.
you were still born
Still
this. In my opinion,
No,
because
it doesn't.
and for me, Tamika, it's because they were born this, so therefore they still have the genetic makeup, which is
still got the genetic makeup.
right. You're still more powerful as a human, still faster, bigger, stronger. So for me,
Yes.
it's still not a fair assessment.
Oh, no, I beg to differ. I went to elementary school with some strong girls who was bullying everybody at the school. I mean,
Girls were strong in elementary.
So what if
They were.
LeBron wanted to transition and join the WNBA? Would you guys watch?
No,
I mean, apparently it's okay now.
No.
Apparently it's the right thing to do.
no.
Wow.
I would.
I wouldn't. No.
No.
No. Not at all.
Y'all
Not
seen,
at all.
but y'all seen the movie
Not at
Juana
all.
Man though.
Mm-hmm.
So you would watch because
Absolutely.
your curiosity is gonna
And-
get you. You
and
be
it
at
was-
home
and it-
and you gonna be
and-
like, hold
and-
on, let me go see what old Miss LeBron talking about right now.
And even the fictional character was unfair. It was unfair.
It was
being-
right. It was unfair.
That's a
so
fact.
and it was fiction.
to that point,
That's a fact.
it wouldn't be fair to Elena Deladon or Asia Wilson or any of them, because how they gonna stop
Well,
this man beast coming playing in
well,
their league?
you know it's coming.
No.
You know it's coming.
They're not.
You know it's coming soon. Where the sex change is about to happen, and you're probably going to maybe get your first transgender person try to make it into the NBA.
Especially somebody who maybe can't make it into the NBA and trying to get into
Maybe the
You must
WNBA.
mean the WNBA.
The WNBA.
It's not
Yeah.
the NBA.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see that.
Yeah, the WNBA.
Yeah.
No.
But
Something real quick though, fellas, and it's not necessarily sports related, but it's related to what we're talking about. So recently, my sorority sisters of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated had a transgender, want to become a part of the organization.
Okay.
It was denied wholeheartedly, all the way across the board, denied. And they were in the news, with the LGBTQ community, like, yo, they're not giving us our rights and this, that, and the third. But this is a women's organization. Women's organization means you were born a woman. You are a woman. So when we talk about the fairness of it all, having a born male that has transitioned into a woman in anything, whether it be sport or organization that's meant for women, it's still unfair.
Yeah.
You can't do it. Yeah. Create your own.
So you're telling me
Don't do that,
you're
bro.
telling me that the dress that Dennis Rodman wore, if he tried to wear it in the game, it would be an issue?
It would be an issue. Wouldn't happen.
Same with Ricky Williams.
Wouldn't go down, bro.
dress.
Yeah.
Same with Ricky Williams. Same thing. No different. No
Yeah.
different. Like, stop it, man. Stop. I don't even understand why we're even having the conversation.
But would you
it
guys
should really be understood all the way across the board.
okay, so it got denied by the sorority.
Mhm.
So what if he wanted to come over to the
Right.
fraternity?
Well, then he would have to
Negative.
change back to
No bueno.
a man.
Y'all gonna make him change back to a man?
No. No. We're not going to choose him.
So you guys will vote him out too?
How if
Come
he's a
up-
man?
He's a man though. He's a man though.
Come up with your own. Come up
But
with your
But
own.
now he associates himself as a man.
Yeah, but their fraternity also is a pick and choose type of thing. I mean, you still have to be accepted in, and there's
exactly.
there's other born men who still don't get in. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
based on whatever merit
Yeah.
that they deem at that time.
Well, it sounds like collusion because you're telling.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Oh man.
Yeah. Collusion.
Man.
That's hilarious, bro.
Hey.
Collusion.
Switching gears.
boy.
Switching gears.
You can switch gears
Oh.
with me anytime.
Switching gears. Switching gears.
There's been a lot. It's been a lot. It's been a lot of conversation. Going on between Molly and one LeVar Ball, and the statement that he made and the comment that he made towards Molly made her feel a certain type of way. This is what that certain type of way people talk about. Okay. I don't know how it made her feel, but it made her feel a certain type of way.
It just made her feel inappropriate.
Right.
And the inappropriate I'm talking about, when people trying to bring the sexual connotation into it, my thing is the inappropriate that she was talking about is like, say if I come over to your house and I just come in your house, just bypass you, come there, sit in your couch and put my feet up on your coffee table. That's the inappropriate that we're talking about.
Okay.
No, it wasn't sexual. It wasn't sexual. But it was inappropriate. There's a difference.
So we're going to listen to the clip real quick.
Go ahead before I get back to him.
LeVar, can I switch gears with you because I have a question here.
You can switch gears with me anytime.
Let's stay focused here.
Let's stay focused here.
See, if
Like,
you,
what's that even mean though? Like that, I've never heard that in a sexual connotation ever in life.
well, you can use anything to be sexual based on your tone.
It wasn't sexual.
Everyone,
But now you're guessing. Now you're guessing what he meant by, because his tone didn't even. He just said we can switch gears anytime.
okay. When I watched it live, I was like, dude, are you serious?
Yeah, I said the same thing.
That's how I felt watching it live. Stephen A. Smith sitting next to him was like, oh Lord, he face palm like, he felt the same way. So we all say this, that we can't tell the tone through text messages and such, right? So even just listening to it, you can't sense the tone. However, when you flirt with somebody, in my opinion, when you flirt with somebody, it's just a couple words that can be taken one way or another. Sure. I took it for me. Sure. I thought he was like, the first thing I said was, dude, are you serious? And then the next thought was, you're a married man. That even before I thought about Molly, I thought about his wife. So I thought of it that way.
I thought it was just simple inappropriateness. If you introduce me to your wife, and I say something like that, that's inappropriate to you and her.
Yeah.
And if she felt that way, guess what? That's her feelings.
Exactly.
All I'm gonna say is nice to meet you, and keep it pushing.
For me, if any of our women were here, and one of us said something similar to that, I would think that each one of us would have felt some type of way. Yeah. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with Maverick when he said
Maverick.
I agree with Maverick when he says that we all would feel a certain type of way. I think that's where my thought come into play. We can't minimize how Molly felt. I don't care if she didn't know it was an innuendo. Whatever the comment that he made her feel a certain type of way. I can't minimize the way that she feels. Sometimes we may be having a conversation, but I may not know that if I said something to offend you, that it made you feel a certain type of way unless you tell me about it. Don't go behind my back and say, Sherm said something and he made me feel a certain type of way. I'm going to say something to you right now because you may not know that what you said offended me. Right? And so that's what I get from the situation. Like, we can't, whether what was said, what he said and how he said it, the tone he said it, how and what he meant, it made her feel a certain type of way, and you got to respect that.
And my thing is,
absolutely,
if your daughter or your wife came up to you and said, "Hey, he made me feel a certain type of way," are you going to discount her feelings?
Right. Absolutely
not.
Right.
You're not.
Absolutely not. You're going to address the situation.
You're going to address the situation. That's all it was.
But did ESPN overreact by? They're the one that keeps bringing him on. He shouldn't have been on anyways. But they keep bringing him on for them to say he's banned for life over that, or can he just be like, "Look, I was joking around." Issue an apology, and did they blow it out of proportion to make it a bigger deal than it had to be?
What is he on there for anyway?
Does the 4-letter network always blow things out of proportion?
A lot.
What is he on there for anyway?
A lot. Has he come out and said? I mean, has he come out and given his feelings? I haven't heard anything.
I'm not sure.
I just want to put that out to everybody. I haven't heard anything either. So I mean, if it was nothing meant by it, say that there was nothing meant by it.
I think he did say that.
I mean, don't leave it to dangle.
I think he did. I think he did say something to that effect that I meant nothing by it. So I don't have no reason to apologize.
Right. Okay. That's what he said. Yeah. See, my thing is this.
Okay. Well,
we're in the age of inappropriateness being censored and monitored. Right?
And in the workplace.
Right, in the workplace. So,
but we're also in the day and age where say what you want to say.
Well, that too. But this is ESPN. He is not an employee of ESPN. He is an invited guest. So therefore, ESPN has said, "Listen, we don't need you."
Independent contractor is what he is.
Right. So since we don't need you here, and you made our host feel uncomfortable, we just rather not you be here. No. Going back to Bill's initial analogy, if you just came to my house, put your feet up. Look, you were invited here and you disrespected our place.
First time to your house. Right. I'm doing that.
Now, do you think ESPN's really banning him for life, or will they make the return of LeVar Ball?
It depends.
They love the guy. He'll be back.
He's only relevant.
They love the guy. He'll be back.
Well,
This is WWE right now.
It depends only what Lonzo Ball does. Because the only reason why he was on there is because Lonzo was traded.
Yeah.
That was the only reason why he was on there. Now, if Melo or Jello gets drafted or something like that, they'll probably have him back on there. But until then, or unless Lonzo has a triple-double or a great game, he won't be on there because he's only there because his son's name was relevant.
Okay, so not whatever he meant. But look, little road rage over there. Little road rage over there. Look.
Yeah, my fault, man. I got hey, slow truck in front of me, man. I ain't even know y'all heard me.
Oh, I heard that.
My fault. Christian Station.
Look, man. However, people are really going back to the words that he said. It's really not about the words, bros. It's really not about the words. I mean, okay. So I own a couple businesses, right? And so what if I go up to one of my female employees and say, I love the way that dress is fitting. Looking real nice. And keep it moving. Could have been completely innocent on my end.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But how did those words
make her feel?
Exactly.
Yep.
A conversation that
and
happens.
that's why we go through those diversity classes and all that stuff to understand that.
That's why you do it.
Yeah. Basically just say, how you doing this morning? And keep it pushing. Don't compliment. I mean, because women have came out and made this an issue on jobs.
Because I could feel a certain type of way. Say I went to work and I had some gray sweatpants on and my female employee said, all right, I see you got the gray sweatpants on today. What if I said that made me feel a certain type of way?
It never happens.
You might do this right here.
You'll be a whole garden tool in these streets, Dre, if you did that, brother.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I'm just letting you know what's forthcoming,
You
brother.
feel me?
Hey, just letting you know what's forthcoming, brother. That's how you'll be betrayed, though.
But like I
That's
said,
how you'll be betrayed, though.
Like I said, when we go through that training, a lot of this stuff have come from women telling their supervisors and bosses that, this is not making me feel comfortable with him coming up saying this to me all the time.
Yeah.
So they make all these rules and regulations. Then we have to go through this training. They've come up with that. It wasn't us. It wasn't men. Because like you said, a lot of times we're complimenting women and it's just innocent.
Yeah.
Nice dress this morning.
Friendly, innocent, right?
Yeah. Well, you compliment me all the time.
Boy, that's why you don't say nothing.
You don't say nothing.
I see you got here on time. Good looking.
Right.
That's it.
You ain't late. Great.
Oh, man. You're not late. Thanks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Thanks, company girl.
Yeah.
Thanks, company woman.
Good Lord. Oh, man, you checked all the emails today. You know what? That's dope.
God bless you.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I'm handing out compliments at my spot.
You don't feel comfortable? We'll keep it straight. We'll keep it straight down the line. How you doing this morning? Keep it pushing.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Keep it moving.
And that's going over to in regular life on the streets. Aisha Curry, a lot of people ain't gonna compliment you because first of all you're married, and
trying to be respectful.
Being respectful.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So Goose, man, we don't want to hold you up, but if you want to talk a little bit about this this draft a little bit, I'm really interested in getting your take on the Little situation falling all the way to the Portland Trailblazers, which he should take Evan Turner's job. What's the other dude from
Immediately.
What's the guy you don't really like? That Aminu?
Yeah,
Al Farouk.
Al Farouk Amino.
He should take those two jobs quick.
Immediately, both of them. Look, I thought Nasir Little. I thought Coach Williams didn't play him enough early in the season, which really caused people that really didn't know him to see him real late into the ACC tournament and into the NCAA tournament, which is probably why he fell as far as he did, because if people had saw him earlier, more often, they probably would have got a really good idea of who this kid actually was. He was actually coming into the season, all, the whole ESPN top, 300 or whatever that they figured would declare for the draft. He was like in the top 10 in that class,
right,
that were projected to go, in the lottery. And for him to fall that far was a clear cut, Coach Williams' job. He didn't play him as often early as I think he should have.
Right.
That's just my opinion. I don't know how you feel about it, Dre, being a Tar Heel fan. I'm not certain, but that's just how I feel, about the situation. But I think he's going to be a solid player in the NBA. He'll play 10, 12 years, and he's looking to take one of those jobs from either Evan Turner or Alfred Camino.
Boy.
But they say Al-Farouq Aminu is their best three-point shooter.
Boy, and that shot's terrible looking. That
better than Dame Lillard? Better than Dame Lillard? No.
I heard that's their three-point option.
Better than the other Curry guy?
Okay. Wow.
Or
That's
CJ.
tough.
Or Myers Leonard.
That's tough.
Myers Leonard's their best 3-point shooter.
That's tough.
Myers Leonard's struggling to get time
come
this
on,
year.
bro. Like, yeah, we just ran off 5 different people off the top of our head.
That part.
And that's tough.
I'm just going off what I heard when they
That's
played Golden State in that round. That was
a fine.
It was
Western Conference.
Western Conference. Yeah. Western Conference Finals. They said he was their best 3-point shooter.
Right.
Yeah, well, maybe
And I didn't see it.
That's tough.
I didn't see it, but
Run in. Yeah, that's tough, man.
What do y'all think?
But yeah, I stand by completely with my comment that Kobe White is a better point guard than Lonzo Ball.
Ooh.
I stand by that.
Kobe White's good, man.
Stand by it completely.
Kobe White's good, man.
I stand by it completely. There's nothing that Lonzo Ball does definitively better than Jacoby White. Nothing.
We're waiting on.
He doesn't shoot better than him.
We're waiting on Quan
He's not a
59
better
to
overall
respond.
scorer.
We're
Not a
staring
better
at it for
overall
about
scorer.
5 minutes. We're waiting on your response.
Here's my thing. If you've never seen Jacoby White play on a consistent basis, you might not want to comment. So I watched every dribble that Jacoby White took in his college career. Every last single one.
Yeah, me too. He's a little OC, but that's fine.
I watched, he a little bit. But with a scoring point guard, sometimes you don't mind just a little bit of OC, just a little. He wasn't like a turnover machine.
Oh no,
where he couldn't control the offense. But this is my personal belief. I believe that Jacoby White does everything better than Lonzo Ball.
Oh,
at this point,
I don't
more
know.
consistent shot,
better defense.
Yeah, I was going to say
definitely.
Ooh,
He's up there. He's up there defensively.
He's not a better defender.
With him. So I'm gonna ask you, hey, Quan, how often did you watch Jacoby White?
I probably saw 10
games.
I probably saw 10 games.
So,
I watched him a lot.
So in those 10 games you watched, you didn't watch them lock down his position at all?
I didn't say it all. But Lonzo plays against NBA players, not ACC players.
Okay. That's fine. So when did we start saying Lonzo Ball was a great defender?
Boy, they said it though.
They showed it. They showed.
No, not coming out of college.
Wait.
He was not a good defender coming out of college.
Okay,
but in the NBA, he has been a really good, one of the best point guard defenders in the league.
And I'm not taking that away from him. I'm saying he's a good defender. He really is.
Yeah, and I'm not taking anything from Kobe White. I think he's dope. I like him a lot.
Right now.
But he's not a better defender than Lonzo
we're
right now.
saying this about him coming out right now.
I haven't seen enough tape on Lonzo Ball.
Okay, so I'll give you that. I'll give you defensively. What else does Lonzo Ball do better than Jacoby White?
I think he's a better overall passer.
Court presence? Is Kobe White better? I mean, because you can't deny Lonzo's court presence. He can see.
I mean, Lonzo could get a rebound and pass right to the guy under the other rim pretty easily.
Oh, okay. So we're acting like he invented that. Did he invent that, or
I didn't say he invented that. I said he does that better than Kobe White. I didn't say he invented that. We saw the N1 mixtapes. In the 90s.
He's a better get the ball off the rim, pass it 94 feet than Kobe White. Got you. Okay, I'll give you that.
I mean, we said core vision in general too. That's just one of the aspects of it that we threw in there. I think he's a better rebounder than Kobe White.
We'll see.
I could see it. I mean, he's 6'7".
Yeah.
Listen, I like Kobe a lot. I'm not even sure why the comparison came to be, but I like him a lot. I think he's going to be dope for the Bulls.
It came up because I brought it up.
Yeah.
I put it out there.
The thing is,
I like Kobe White. I think he's going to be a better point guard than Lonzo Ball. But I also think that Fox is a better point guard than Lonzo Ball. But what do I know?
So since we were talking about Lonzo, then how do we feel about how he's going to transition over with New Orleans with the Pelicans and the new crop of players that they have there? Same coach, Alvin Gentry, but a completely different regime and outlook going forward. How do we feel about Lonzo's place in there along with Brandon Ingram, Zion?
He has one thing he needs to do. He has to stay healthy. He has one thing he needs to do, stay healthy. Then we can gauge a full season. That's the most important thing for him right now. Then we can gauge a full season. But he has one thing to do. We see the possibilities, but he has one thing to do. Stay healthy, bro.
Is New Orleans a playoff team next season?
I mean, they got some pieces over there, man.
It's possible.
Yeah.
In the West?
30 and 52. 30 and 52.
30? Only 30?
They win 30 games. Yeah, they win 30 games.
The West is still loaded. I mean, you still got teams like OKC,
loaded,
San Antonio, Utah now with Mike Conley.
So the Lakers won 35 games 2 years ago without LeBron with these same players, and you're only giving them 30 with more experience in Zion Williamson.
30 games.
Ooh.
Who on that team has any? Who on that
Drew
team
Holiday.
has any playoff experience?
Drew Holiday,
outside of one guy. One guy.
But
he probably got a couple.
That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good guy right there.
Who has?
Drew Holiday's an all-star.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
but
on the West.
Has he won?
Yeah.
Has he won?
He has.
So
What has he won?
could they be the?
What has Drew Holiday won?
Absolutely nothing.
So could they
we're
be the
talking
Nets?
about getting to the playoffs. We're not talking about winning the championship. We're
So
talking
could
about
they
getting
be
to the
the
playoffs.
Nets this year?
So they did beat
this coming
they
season.
They did sweep the Portland Trailblazers with Drew Holiday as their starting guard against Dame Lillard. And
Sure.
So to say he hasn't done anything is kind of
Sure.
I will say this:
But they're going to win a lot more than 30 games.
If Alvin Gentry gets
35.
if Alvin Gentry coaches
fine.
the way that he wants, New Orleans is going to have the best defensive backcourt in the NBA with Drew Holiday and Lonzo Ball. I think I think Lonzo Ball is an outstanding defensive point guard.
Outstanding?
I actually do. I think he is a great.
Girl, you knock me out.
Boy, if you don't get the gap, man.
I think
He's a really good defensive player.
Outstanding?
That's it. Yes. Yeah, I believe he
Girl,
is.
you
And
knock
I'm not
me
a
out.
fan of Lonzo because the rest of his game is subpar. But that
Say
part of his
outstanding
game
again.
is great. But I don't see the shooting on that particular team yet. And so I think that's where they're gonna lack at. And you're right. There's gonna be
He's going to struggle.
They got Ian Clark,
none of
Drew
these,
Holiday, Stanley Johnson.
They could be the Nets of the West. Of the West.
none of those players
Western
have played
Conference.
more than 50 games in a season.
And they could still possibly re-sign Randall.
Frank Jackson. He's dope.
We don't know yet.
I had a lot of hope for Frank Jackson, man.
Yeah,
I
we
really
just
did,
don't know
even though
yet.
he had Dookie. I had a lot of hope for that guy.
I like him.
He's been disappointing.
Yeah, I think he'll do
been
better.
disappointing.
I think he'll surprise people this year. But I mean, Ian Clark got a ring or two, don't he? With Golden State.
He may have to.
Did he win with them?
Yeah.
I think he was on that team.
Yeah.
He was on that 15 team, I believe.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, you can't really count that as experience. At least I wouldn't.
And you got Alvin Gentry. He's about to come out any day as we speak.
Right.
So with
Jared Culliver, DeAndre Hunter. Two best complete players in that draft.
I like DeAndre Hunter.
I like Hunter, man. That's a good
bro.
look.
I do.
A lot.
If there's going to be a
Like
surprise,
Jared Culliver, too.
if there's going to be because every draft has this surprise player where 5 years from now you look back and be like, man, how did we pass on that guy? Whether it's a Klay Thompson, a Giannis, or a Kawhi, or something like that.
I think this draft is filled with that, actually.
I do too,
Yeah.
and it's not at the top of the draft in my opinion.
I thought this was one of the weakest drafts.
Interesting.
It was, and that's why I think we'll see some of these lower drafted players like, dang, why did we pass on him? Because I'm not saying we're getting a Kawhi out of this at all. You're not getting that ever. But I think we'll see players that got drafted low. Even Bol, I think he's going to be a good NBA player
I
if he
agree.
stays
What
healthy.
about Taco?
Just got to stay
Hey,
healthy.
Taco fell out of the get that Taco fell out of the draft and got picked up by the Celtics. That's a good pick, man.
That is. I mean, he's a long defender. I like Kevin Porter out of USC. He's with the
He fell a
Cavs.
lot too.
Hey, he got some off court issues and attitude.
His attitude kept him from
He's gonna be slept
being
on.
drafted, huh?
He's gonna be slept on.
And I want to shout out Jordan Davis.
Mhm.
Yeah, dope.
Picked up
Shout
by the
out
Nuggets.
Jay Davis, man.
You know,
We'll see him in
Nuggets,
summer
yeah.
league.
Yeah.
he will have plenty of
Salute.
competition to
Absolutely.
refine his game there with the backcourt that they already have.
Yeah.
But it's going to be great for him.
Yeah.
He's already familiar with the community there. He's going to have support from his family that's here. He has a promising career if he stays the same course that he has now. Mentally, his physicality is already there.
Off the charts.
He has an NBA body. So he has an opportunity definitely there. And I mean, Gary Harris can't stay healthy over there. So he can see himself getting playing time in that position.
Yeah.
Well, who do you guys think? Who do you guys think are the winners of the draft this past week? Just name a couple teams.
Pelicans. Pelicans.
The Hawks did phenomenal to me.
I don't know what Phoenix was doing.
What are they ever doing?
I have no idea what
They're dumb, man.
None, zero.
Make
They
them
need to
sell
take-
the team, move them to Vegas, change the name.
Yes.
This is
They probably
ridiculous.
can even
It's
keep the same
ridiculous.
name. It's hot here too.
Yeah.
But I think the Knicks quietly did something beneficial too, because I think R.J. Barrett is going to be a better pro than he was a college
I
player.
feel that.
Yeah.
And
Sure,
now
sure.
the funny thing is now there's trade talks that KD may sign a supermax
With
with
the
Golden
Nets.
State and be traded,
Traded,
whether
yeah.
to his New York or Brooklyn. The thing is
Trade, sign, trade.
Brooklyn don't have the assets to trade, but the Knicks do. The Knicks have players. They have a Dennis Smith, Kevin Knox, R.J. Barrett.
Yeah.
So they have players that they can ship over.
I don't think there's a lot of truth to that, though.
It may not be.
I think that's just, there's so much being thrown out right now because
Out there.
keep it going, make some, write some articles.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep hearing that this next week and a half is going to be, wild with rumors and they're going here and, keeps it fun though, right?
It's gonna be a lot before July 1. Trust it. Trust and believe it. Fellas, I'm gonna get on out of here, man. It was great chatting.
Yes, sir.
As always, man, keep holding it down. Quan 59 over there on the boards, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Get busy,
Bill
little mama.
Buckle, Great. Yeah, they absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
All right.
Y'all boys be easy in there.
All right, brother.
Okay,
Okay,
man.
man.
All right,
Talk
all right, Lonzo.
talk to you soon. Look, man, it's gonna be real interesting come this trade deadline, man. And
And listen, we have a show Sunday the 30th, 2 p.m.
Yep.
Let the Ball Bounce, an unnamed sports show,
yeah, I'll
coming
be here.
together
Yeah.
for a free agency show that I think is going to be really dope.
Free agency. We got a name.
Can we bring some? Can
Not
we bring
frenzy.
Bring some
Yeah,
drink
you
in
can
here?
bring some Pepsi and
Cool.
Yeah.
Holy water,
absolutely. I
Gotcha.
mean, this Sunday, bring some communion.
Yeah.
some crackers, and some grape juice.
Hey, watch it, man.
What's wrong?
Crackers.
Well,
There's racial slurs.
yeah, I don't want you feeling a certain type of way since you're my
I feel-
since this is your studio.
I feel a certain type of way.
You
Just
might.
not
we
right.
got to be Politically correct. We can't
You
even
got-
say crackers no
But
more.
Quan, it's so
Crackers no
Quan,
more.
it's so
Crusty
funny.
bread.
You call me crusty bread?
Crusty bread.
Well, if Quan did feel a certain type of way, we may have to close that door and change his mind. It'd turn into the 5 heartbeats in here real quick. My office hour is when I tell
9.
you to open up this joint. 9 to 5, man.
9 to
That's
5.
what it is. Let the Ball Bounce Sports Talk Radio, man, every Saturday, 2 p.m. every Tuesday, man, 6 p.m., man. We appreciate you guys chiming in to Let the Ball Bounce Sports Talk Radio. Did you know that a team is switching conferences from the ACC back to the Big East? Anybody know what team that is? In the,
I do, but I've been
St. John's.
cheating.
The Yukon Huskies.
Beautiful. That's who it is?
I think all the original teams need to go back. I miss the
that'd
Big
be
East.
dope, bro.
I miss the Big East.
I mean, it had so much history.
Yeah.
But you had the Catholic Five all kind of move out with St. John's and some of those teams there. But man, just to see the original, to see Syracuse, if it were to happen, Syracuse and the Georgetowns and Villanova,
boy,
St. John.
boy.
It was depressing when they all left. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
especially if you grew
Right.
up watching Big East basketball. I mean, that was
basketball.
it didn't matter where you're from. If you're a Pac-10 fan, you're a UCLA
Yep.
fan, everyone watched Big East basketball.
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
I mean, you would even sit up and watch. I mean, there's some players who may not have gone or been household names in the NBA, but just legendary in college, from your Kerry Kittles and your
Victor Page, tragic.
I mean, John Wallace and all those guys, players that where they battled. And so we would love to see, because right now it seems like in college basketball it's just ACC.
Yep.
And I think most of our favorite teams are in the ACC, but still it just seems like that there's
I mean,
nothing
went through
else going
3
on
Final Four teams from the ACC.
Yeah.
out of the ACC. Yeah.
I like it, man.
Yeah.
I think it other teams are gonna start trying to make it back to what Big East basketball used to be, man. Real talk, man. Appreciate everybody chiming into the show, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, you know what? It's I know we joke about it, man, but it's a serious conversation with us in the group as far as race and things like that, man. I've been seeing a lot of stuff, and I don't know if it's just because a lot of sports isn't in right now. It's just baseball, and a lot of people who do like baseball don't even watch baseball. And then if they do, they only watch it during the playoffs. So it's pretty slow right now, and race in sports is as real as it could be. And sometimes you get people on the page feeling like it's a sports page, and you should never bring up race. Like, how do you guys feel about the direction? Because what I've heard is that it seems to be the culture of the Let the Ball Bounce Sports Talk page on Facebook. So I just want to kind of get some feedback, even from you, Coach,
White guy.
Mr. Carter. Welcome back.
Cracker.
Dum, dum, dum,
Crusty
dum,
bread.
dum.
Crusty bread. Quan. Crusty bread 5'9".
Look, my thought on the race thing is that sports was always used as a way to smooth over different things that we may have. The Olympics was brought in to unify everyone. But I remember a couple years ago, especially with the Kaepernick thing, where people like Mike Ditka came out and said, racism has been over with over 100 years ago. And the problem, I feel, is that we don't address it enough to where we can have meaningful conversation about it, so we can clear the air, understand other people's viewpoints regarding it. Like, when people say, well, racism has been dead or it doesn't exist in sports, you can go back into looking at, let's say, Jesse Owens, who represented the United States of America in the Olympics. but most of the country was rooting for the German runner because they identified with his skin color more than the American runner who they didn't identify with. When it came to boxing and Joe Louis, when he was going against Max Schmeling, the country was going for Max Schmeling because he looked like them. And when those athletes came back of color, when they came back home, they were not welcome anymore. Jackie Robinson, who fought for this country, was not welcome with his teammates. Now you fast forward because you think, man, that was a long time ago. But if you just take from decade to decade, even now in today's day and age, you see when we were talking about the gender situation, right? That is a compelling topic. But the ones that you see mostly on TV are with the gender situation seem to be the ones of color. The ones who are not of color, you don't see much about their exploits in sports. But the ones of color are the ones you see, why is this person competing in this sport? So racism is still an underlying factor when it comes to a lot of things that we see in sports. So since we are a sports page, we still bring out some of these hidden truths and bring them back to the light for us to talk about so we can understand one another.
For me,
Well, I want to see how you follow that up.
That was like a written out Bob Costas.
yeah. But
It really was.
But for me, we're just like 3 years removed from a big racial topic in sports. Kaepernick. That really opened up a lot of conversation between whites and blacks about anything racial pertaining to that situation. There's a lot of black people didn't agree with what he did. Hey, that's his job. He shouldn't be, displaying his personal feelings on his job. Well, it just wasn't that. It was more geared toward trying to open up everybody's eyes to the wrongdoings that's going on in this country when it pertains to black people. So we just seen it. It is a viable topic to talk about. Is everything racial like you posted? No, it's not racial. Everything's not racial. But when they are racial, they should be pointed out and they should be addressed and they should be, brought to the forefront because a lot of that stuff happens and is happening right in front of our face. Should we ignore it? No. Talk about it.
I don't think everyone could differentiate from is everything racial like you can to know it's not always. I think some people do if it's black and white or black and Mexican or whatever. Some people will make everything racial. And I think that's where I get frustrated sometimes with certain people, not everybody. But again, like Sherm said, I can't even repeat that because it was great. But, there have been a lot of things that have gone on to divide, But I take it different. I take it as sports and being involved in sports since I was young, like loving playing in PE and recess, like that brought races together to me that were maybe divided. I have a lot of friends through playing sports and basketball. Like it looked like the Cosby Show friends, where we had every single race we would run with and play basketball with, when I was in 5th grade and 6th grade. So I feel like it's been a good thing for sports, and sports has helped bring people together more. Is everything racial? No. Can you take everything racial? I think you can if you want to. So I think sometimes you have to decide and pick your times when it is and isn't, because when you do make it,
discern the two.
When some people do make it every single issue a race issue, the other people will feel like, dang man, like we can't have two people fighting against each other on UFC or boxing without making it, I like this dude because he's white, I like this dude because he's black, I like this dude because he's Mexican, So, I mean, that's kind of my take on it. I feel like for me personally, it's brought me together with a lot of people because of sports. So,
Well, well, everybody had great. I don't even want to follow. I guess I'll just take a little bit of a piece of what you guys said a little bit. My personal feelings, I believe, race will never be distinct ever. I think there's always going to be racism. You're not born with it. It's something that's taught. And unfortunately, we just got done talking about 45 minutes ago about I can't tell you how to teach your kids the things that you want to teach them, right? It goes the same way with some of the things that we see now today in sports. The Kaepernick issue, the Muhammad Ali issue, the Jesse Owens issue, the high school kid with the locks issue. Those things are fresh. Those things are fresh on the mind and on the heart. And I think what it is at least my perception is black people aren't going to sit back and just not say anything anymore. I think it gotten to a point where we were so used to just allowing things to happen to us. We were forced not to even think to have a voice. Not to have a voice, to not even think it. Don't even think it. And the fact that we're in 2019 and people are teaching their black kids this is what it is. And I think these kids, young millennials, the Colin Kaepernicks, the other kids that are standing for what they believe in and speaking up, the people that own these companies, own these sports teams, they're not used to that. They're used to saying, you take what I give you, and that's that. They're not used to the lip. And so not saying that, we should all go into work tomorrow and just cuss our boss out. There's a time and a place, but a conversation at some point needs to be had. Why are we in 2019 and we still can't have the conversation without people all over the place, right? You can't tell me how to feel. You can't tell us anymore this is how we should feel about certain situations. We're going to speak up. And it's here. And we need to talk about it. Obviously, different races have their own perspective. It's all about knowledge. It's all about teaching each other. But when you have a person that you're talking to that really don't care what you're talking to because he can't wait to get his point across, those type of dudes you can't reach. Those type of dudes are hard to change or hard to see, get them to see your perspective because they can't wait to get their perspective out. That your stuff is going through one ear and not the other. We don't do enough listening. Everybody want to talk. Everybody want to be on Front Street. We don't do enough listening. People don't listen in sports. If they listened to Colin Kaepernick, they would have heard that it wasn't about the flag. Mm-hmm. But we're supposed to allow it. Me as a parent, I'm supposed to allow my son with locks wrestling, him get his hair cut simply because he black. But that's the referee, though, the one that's supposed to be not biased between the two competitors. That's an unfair advantage, dog. We got to fight. You mean to tell me I got to fight my opponent and the ref? You're putting me in unfair situations, and you're putting me in situations to lose, to fail. And we see that, and we're supposed to not say nothing about it, man.
Well,
stop it, man.
And I think to your point about, the opinion situation, people have really gone on this thing to thinking their opinions are facts, and that's the way everybody should feel. Their opinion, not the fact, their opinion. Those are the people who are really causing the problem when you try to have these dialogues and discourse about different things. your opinion. You're not speaking on fact. You're speaking on opinion.
And then you get a lot of people trying to speak from the black perspective. Hold on, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. I don't care if you've been raised, you don't kick it with nothing but black dudes. It's different. You go home, you still got your white skin, I still got my black skin.
I'm still getting asked why I use caps all the time. Really?
I tried to come to your defense with that. But
it's also hard, too. It's the internet. And that's why I don't like having super serious discussions on the internet anymore, because it's a no-win situation.
Yeah.
Like, we could have it in person a lot better than we could have it on the internet, because you want to be right on the internet. And that's the problem.
And I think that was the point I was going to make, is because we brought up the Kaepernick thing. And if you remember his initial interview, he said, I just want to start having meaningful dialogue.
That's it.
Because at that point where he did it, if y'all remember, there were two things going on at the same time. There were two prominent figures, Kaepernick and Donald Trump, both going and both saying, I want to make this country better. Two people saying the same exact thing, but they look completely different. And since they look different, people villainized one and made the other the president of the free world. But they said the same exact thing. So when you get people who are going to media and say, well, it's just sports, or shut up and dribble, or don't involve politics within sports, but then interview you and ask you, well, what do you think about what's going on in this country? What are you?
Don't ask me those questions that pertain to the things that you don't want me to speak on.
Exactly.
Because I'm going to tell you what it is.
And so now they can't help but to bleed into one another, because these professional athletes came up from these streets. They haven't forgotten about what has happened. They didn't turn a blind eye to the things that are going on around them from the neighborhoods that they grew up in. So they still speak about these things.
And it's insulting, too, to say that somebody don't know about a political issue. And many of those are people, black athletes. Shut up and dribble. You don't know. Why shouldn't I know? I watch the news, or I can read the paper now, just like, and understand and comprehend what's going on, too. And if I don't like it, I should be able to speak upon it.
Exactly.
But it's insulting when you hear the lady, what's her name, Laura Ingraham, try to tell someone who's intelligent, who knows about situations, to just shut up and dribble. That's insulting.
Well, and what tells me deeper than that is her mentality.
Yeah.
She truly feels that way.
Yeah.
And her writers and producers, they all have had to allow, know that she feels that way, to allow her to even voice that opinion, to even come out like that. But the bottom line is, man, we're supposed to just entertain. We're supposed to just stay in our place. We're supposed to just allow the foolishness to continue. And I think the longer we get in life, some of those things will diminish, but the word racist or racism, I think, will always forever exist.
And racism won't ever be dead until the last person that is racist isn't racist anymore.
I mean, it's a lot of racist people out there that don't know. Yeah, that honestly, and I really believe that there are people out there that honestly don't know that they're racist, because they've been born and raised in a culture and a mentality their entire life and never deviated from that. They really believe that's how it is.
And I've said that before. There's two levels of racism. There's the hateful racism, and then there's the racism because of ignorance. You don't, like you said, they don't know they're racist because they were brought up that way. And then there's those people that just hate, have hate in their heart, and that's why they're racist. So I think there is different levels to it, but it's still racism.
And that's why there needs to be meaningful dialogue. I posted something on our page, I think yesterday or the day before.
But do you think you can get that on the internet? I don't.
You cannot.
You can't.
You can't. But what you can do, okay, so I posted about Mo Wagner for the Lakers, where he liked a comment about Trayvon Martin being killed. And there was a lot on Twitter, and there was a lot of dialogue from there. If you take a particular stance, I always say A wise man can change his mind when he's introduced to new information.
Definitely.
So if you have a stance about something, let's say the Kaepernick thing, and I've talking with people who said, well, all I thought he did was disrespect the flag because that's what everybody else was saying. And I went in and said, and this is all online, said, no, this was what he was saying. This was his goal and his aim. And
well, I told you guys before here that I didn't agree with Kaepernick at first because I thought he was just trying to get attention because he wasn't as good of a football player anymore. So he's trying to like keep his name up there.
Right.
Until I learned what it was really about probably 2 weeks later, then I did change my stance on that.
Exactly. That's where the meaningful dialogue comes in at. But until we get to that point of wanting to do that, then there's never going to be the change. Sports will bring us closer as people, like two lanes. It'll bring us closer, but it will never be one until we start having these conversations. And as Quan said, and to the last racist dies, is never going to be dead. But at least we can start making progressive change toward the better.
And that willing not to want to understand is cognitive dissonance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, too, like don't agree with racist people if you're not really racist because sometimes the racist people have to realize, like, yo, that's not right. Like, I've seen people in groups where, you know, people are saying racist things and then they just kind of sit back instead
Is it in the hockey group?
I mean, that too, but just anywhere where they're saying stuff and it's like, I know my boy doesn't agree with them, but he's kind of just like laughing along with them because he's in the group. It's like, you got to stand up.
What do you call those?
You got to stand up and let them know, like, yo, that's not cool. That's not right.
What do they call them on the streets?
I don't even know.
What do they call the the black dude on the street who want to be with the he just want to be the white boy and what else?
Uncle
Tom.
Boy, they got
Tom.
names for him.
Thomas.
They got names for him.
But even white people that are around other white people where they're, it's like stand up for your people when
they're
you
not
believe.
going to do that. They're not going to do that because
listen, I've checked some white people in my lifts that are, even with the Kaepernick thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll break it down to them what the real story is and you start, oh, you're not on my side because you're white,
Mm-hmm.
And I think those are the people that need to know, like, man, it's not you have to let people know that it's not right. If you feel like something's not right, let people know. And like he said,
if you do that,
good dialogue.
If you do that, that's great. But not every white dude that kicks it with black dudes is going to do that. So I give you kudos for that if you do that, right? So back in the day when slavery was slavery, you do that, they treat you just like us real quick, and they will hang you. That's a super fact.
Oh, I haven't been hung, obviously, but
well, I would hope not.
I've definitely been called some racial slurs because of it. In the past, which don't bother me because it's like that's your hate in your heart that you got to deal with the rest of your life. You feel me?
Yeah.
What was that? Those two. What movie was that? Mississippi Burning. You had the one guy, white guy, with the couple of white guys with the black protesters, and boy, they never found them four dudes in the whip still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They
12
treat
years a slave,
boy.
Brad Pitt was done the same way.
Yeah, boy. So you don't get a lot of that. And if you're doing that, man, that's that's where change starts. But until all of you Caucasus Mountains, no, but I mean until everybody starts having that mentality, man.
So and that's the
It's not
reason.
gonna happen.
So the original question was why do we talk about racist things within our page, and our page is a sports page, is because that fabric still runs within the sports community.
Yes, it does.
Well, in the group page is probably 80-90% black people on it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get that opinion. If if you don't like it, join another page. That's kind of how I
That's
feel.
right. That's my thing.
Because it's gonna be there. I mean, when Stephon Clark was killed in Sacramento, they actually they picketed in front of the Sacramento Kings arena, and the owner actually let them come in and then addressed it. When Trayvon Martin was killed, everybody was wearing hoodies. So it's gonna be part of the sports fabric altogether. And like Juan said, if you don't like it, you can leave. But before leaving, have dialogue to find out why it's being done, or share your side of it, but be open to listening to the other side.
And don't always want to be right.
Yeah.
There's actually black people that don't want to talk about racism.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to talk about it. It's like, man, that's over my head. Can we talk about something else? Or they just don't want to deal with it. They think they think racism is a thing of the past.
But I understand too, like in a group, they might get that on their timeline all the time about racism. So when they join a sports group, I just want to get over here and just talk about sports and not have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Which is understandable.
It's understandable. Yeah.
But at the same time, if you join the Let the Ball Bounce group, guess what?
How about scrolling past that
Scroll
post?
past it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Or like I said, man, like if it's not for you, it's not for you. There's no hard feelings. But there are other sports groups you can probably go to that only talk about sports. But I doubt it, because racism happens in sports all the time. Like you talked about dude getting his dreads cut off, Colin Kaepernick. Like this stuff happens. And if it didn't happen all the time, it wouldn't be talked about.
Right.
But the fact that it happens, guess what? It's a sports issue that deals with race, so it's going to be brought up.
So pull your
people are
skirt up,
going to
B.
discuss it.
Pull your skirt up, man. It's a whole bunch of cats that need to pull their skirt up. Makes no sense to me, man, why we can't have a conversation. You get these Facebook bullies, man, Twitter finger you to death, and afraid to be exposed is the bottom line.
But at the same time, if you want to respect everyone's opinion, you also got to respect the opinion of people that say that, that say they don't want to talk about that all the time. So,
and do like me and like all they posts.
But you could also turn off notifications. I mean, there's ways around things on the World Wide Web, folks.
It is.
Don't stress out over it.
Quan 5 looking real good, man. You've been taking care of yourself. Look like you got the salt and pepper look going on, man.
Drink a lot more water, you know what I'm saying? Trying to make my skin look good for the summer.
Boy, you look like a young Michael McDonald back there, though.
I keep forgetting. Wasn't even married.
Yes, you was. Quit lying.
I'm offended.
Hey, man, before we get out of here, man, we had a hip-hop discussion, and we'll leave you guys with it, but, Jay Dilla, music producer, rest in heaven.
Beat maker.
Against DJ. Who's the DJ?
You know who he is.
Primo.
You know who he is.
Who's the better producer, beat maker?
Who made this beat? Is this Primo or Dilla, Bill?
This ain't Primo. That ain't Primo.
Yeah, that's a Dilla beat.
Yeah.
It's too many samples in it.
Whoa.
You took the wrong sample.
Sorry, Guerilla Cross fan.
Guerilla Cross, Christian Radio. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
If you're still there with us, man.
So Jay Dilla versus Primo?
Yep.
I'm saying Primo.
Wow.
I don't waffle. I don't straddle the fence.
I don't waffle.
No.
I don't pancake.
No, none of that.
It's definitely a hard one for me, but it's not. You said it too easy. That's what upset me.
Yeah.
Dilla, they both have classics. Here's one of my problems with music.
But that's not a diss on
No,
Dilla.
that's fine. But here's what you said it so easy, so it was almost a diss. So my problem with music and entertainment, people will like people a lot more when they're gone. I don't think Dilla got the same respect at all that when he was here than like the mystique of him being gone. Same thing we've talked about with Biggie. Biggie is probably overhyped because he's not here anymore. I don't think he made enough music to be considered one of the GOATs. But with this, Dilla has so many different sounds. You could tell it's a Dilla beat, but he does some creative stuff that's ridiculous, man. I got to take Dilla over Primo, and it's hard for me to say that.
Can we get a Primo beat? You played a Dilla one. I mean,
Yeah, we can get a Primo beat.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna even look at Quan no more.
I love Dilla, man.
Sharon, what?
I took
Maverick.
Premier.
Premier?
I did.
Yeah, Premier.
And
Do
hard,
Militia.
and
Find Militia.
And it was really, really close.
Find Militia by Primo.
You know why I gotta go with I mean, that's just hip hop. Not saying that Dilla ain't. Dilla's all hip hop.
I like him. I mean, it's hard because they're two of my favorite producers.
You know why I gotta go with Primo? Because
Goose picked RZA.
That RZA
no,
wasn't.
Goose ain't
and
did that.
No, he didn't.
No, Goose said RZA's garbage.
I gotta go with
Did
Primo.
he said RZA's garbage?
Well,
Boy, we had a
He
conversation.
changed his
about
stance.
it. I don't know if
He did it first though. But he changed his stance after we said he's garbage.
So y'all had the same reaction.
Well, I'm saying he's garbage, but okay.
We almost shut the show down that day.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think I'll give it to Preem because of his extensive.
Find Militia.
Yeah, of his
Militia.
extensive beat making for the God MC Guru. And just with the Gangstar, and plus what he do outside of that, I gotta give it to him. But Dilla, Dilla ain't to be slept on though. Like I could listen to a complete Dilla 4-hour all Dilla beats. I could do that. But I gotta go with Preem.
Yeah.
Big up to all you hip hop heads out there that are still with us, man.
I mean, and he had the, I give it to Primo because he's scratching on most of his beats
He's
too.
DJing.
And, yeah. Listen, man, you can't go wrong with either of
Did
them.
he,
I'm not
did
gonna
he
lie,
put
but
Dark Shadows in there? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Watch that Dark Shadows come in.
Yeah.
can't go wrong. I'm not gonna change my stance.
I don't know. I like Dilla. I like Dilla.
Dark
though.
Shadows right here. Come
You know,
on,
but
man.
I don't think you listen to a lot of Dilla though.
I did.
A lot of Dilla.
I did.
Because he got some underground stuff, man. That just like I'm hearing stuff now. I'm like, that's Dilla.
Dilla did a lot of stuff for Common.
There's a Dilla Day out here. It's in May. Actually, the homie Gino is one of the hosts of that, where they do Dilla Day, and it's you have other artists from around the country come here and they perform over J Dilla beats, and that's usually every year here in Vegas in May.
Yeah, I went last year.
Yeah,
me, Slim, and Ro.
Yeah,
Primo did a kind of a tribute to man, the boy just passed away. I can't think of his name.
Nipsey Hussle.
Nipsey Hussle. He did it over his beats.
Oh, did
it's
he?
dope.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to
check it
that
out.
Well, you know that's Dilla. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's Dilla.
He got the Count Basie type of.
Yeah, so he's more instrumental to me.
I mean, I would love to listen to Nas over J Dilla beats.
Oh, this is dope right here.
You can't go wrong.
No, you can't.
The thing I like about them is they got two totally different styles. So
I think that Mass Appeal killed it for me. I was like, good Lord.
yeah,
How did you come up with
beat,
that?
you could just play that beat.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did you come up with that?
You don't even need vocals on that beat.
Let the Ball Bounce Sports Talk Radio Show, man. Your host, Dre Bailey.
Sherman the building.
Mr. Bill Blockham Logan,
Yeah.
man. We appreciate you guys sharing a little bit of your Saturday with us, man. Enjoy. Be safe out there, man.
And don't worry about my lettering that I use on the page. How about that?
I had to get out. We have to get out of here before the disrespect becomes real. I'm not gonna take too much disrespect, man, to my guy, the God MC, the
No,
guru.
no disrespect at all,
Guru.
sir. That's my group.
Keith in the building, man. Let the Ball Bounce Sports Talk Radio Show, man. We appreciate you guys, man. We love you guys, man. Every Saturday, every Tuesday at 6 p.m., man. Big ups to Girl Chat Sports, man. I see y'all doing your thing. Goose, do your thing. Sherm, man. Y'all be safe, man, out there in them streets, man, this weekend, man. Enjoy your loved ones, man. Don't take any day for granted, man.
Yeah.
And if you're scared,
You better go to church.